Hello viewers, and you're welcome to this tutorial. Thank you for your subscriptions, thank you for liking the videos, and thanks a lot for leaving all your comments. I'm really grateful you're expanding the family, and I'll do my best to kind of expand the tutorials as well. Okay, so today we're dealing with conditional statement. Alright, so to begin with, in our daily lives we even have conditions we apply in everything we do. Okay, we hardly do things without conditions, or we should not do things if we don't really have why we are doing them. Okay, so let's try to check that with our daily life. Okay, so if someone bucks into you and says I want to marry you, just don't jump and say, oh yes, I will marry you too. Maybe there is a condition you have in your head. If he is a good guy, okay, if he is reliable, he is affordable, he's portable. So there are kind of things you think in your head before accepting or denying the proposal. Alright, so these are things which serves as conditions in our life. So before you end up accepting, things have to go through within your head to know whether what you're hearing is equal to what you're expecting. Wow, these are good terms. What you are hearing is equal to what you're expecting. So then we use the if in our daily life. So if what I'm hearing, if what you're telling me, if the price of the product is equal to the money I have in my pocket, then I buy your product. So even in our daily life we use the if statement to kind of check the conditions and why this is happening, and before we kind of make decisions. Okay, so that's what we're learning today on how to make good decisions, and how to apply them in our lives, how to bring them inside the program and not in our lives. Okay, so that's the basic thing we'll be doing today. So in every decision or in every condition there is basically an if statement. Okay, but not only if statement. So like, if this should happen, then I'll end up doing this. If he beats me up, I'm not going to marry him. If he's kind of stingy, I might not marry him. So these are the kind of conditions we have in our lives. So we want to bring it back to the life of programming. Okay, and in programming, the if statement is also a good conditional statement used to compare different values. Alright, so you can see it here, the if statement. Okay, so these are things we need to understand before we jump into using if statements, else statements, and else statements. So you're going to find these ones through every programming language. Okay, these are statements being used apart from the elif. So the elif in some languages like C++ is written as else if. Okay, but in Python it uses the elif. Alright, so we'll jump into all this and understanding this concept during the practical session. So I want to give you a theoretical view of what this actually is, how to deal with comparing values, and how to use comparison operators, and also how to use the conditional statement. Okay, so let's jump start. So anytime we are comparing things in our life, it's two things. Either it is equal to, okay, maybe you're buying something from the market, two things buck into your head. If the price of the product is directly equal to the price I have on me, then I'm buying the product. Okay, just don't think code right now. Stop thinking of programming, think of logical life. Okay, in your own applicable life. If you want to buy something and the price of the product is equal to the price or the amount you have in your pocket, then you purchase the product. Okay, now if the price of the product is greater than, let me kind of remove this equal to, I'll come to them later. Okay, if the price of the product is greater than the amount of money you have in your pocket, don't look at these values. All right, I just entered any value. I know why I entered wrong values. Okay, so these are questions. So if the price of the product is greater than the amount I have in my pocket, then I can't buy the product. Okay, so if the price of the product is less than the amount of money I have in my pocket, then I can buy the product. And if the price of the product is not equal to the amount of money I have in my pocket, so not equal to is also useful, but it's kind of dangerous in this place, because if it is not equal to, it could be greater or less than. Alright, so I'm going to explain all this thing during the code, but what I want you to know is these are conditional operators we'll be using. So we have the equal comparison operator. This is the equal comparison operator. That is, if the value at the left side of the operator is equal to the value at the right side of the operator. So at the end of every comparison, or at the end of every conditional statement, there is a bool value generated. So those of you who have watched my tutorials on manipulating user input, you got to meet this one. Okay, to generate a bool value. So under any condition, there is either a true or a false value generated. So in any condition, it's either is true or is false. Okay, so either your condition is true, so just like things like this, so this condition is true because 16 is equal to 16, so this condition is true. 81 is greater than 92, this condition is false because 81 is not greater than 92. 16 is less than 4, this condition is also false. 44 is not equal to 84, it's true, this condition is true because 44 is not equal to 84, so this condition is true. Alright, so we can also use the greater than or equal to sign, okay, and say less than or equal to sign. So these are mathematical signs we could use. So what I want you to understand right now is these are conditional statements, or sorry, these are comparison operators we'll be using in our conditional statement, in our if statement, in our elif statement. All right, and at the end of every statement or at the beginning of every statement, it is either the values we're expecting is true or the values we're expecting is false. So we're going to jump into the next tutorial which deals with a practical session of how to use the if statement, how to use the elif statement, and how to use the else statement. Okay, so basically understand that in every condition is either the requirement you're expecting is true or false. All right, so it's like the requirement, what you're expecting to see and what you have on you is either is a true value or a false value. So these are the things you need to know when it comes to if statement. So if you have this concept, then you're good to go, and make sure you keep subscribing to the channel, liking the videos, and just leave any comments you have if you have it. If you've not subscribed, do subscribe, ring that bell, and if there are any updates, you have it by default. So thanks for viewing. Watch out for the next tutorial, which is a practical session on a conditional statement.